If I could ask our control room to just freeze that frame where you see the officer going for his gun, and there is sizable difference between 5 and 10 feet, depending. There's a lot of space between this officer and the victim in this case. Dennis Rood, I want you to work with me on this actual shooting. In real time, the shooting takes about 10 seconds to play out. That may seem very quick, but that's an eternity for some people. So as this is playing out, I don't want this to be gratuitous at all. I want you, as a trained officer who trains others in the proper use of deadly force, to tell me what, if anything, where is the devil in the details? Where is there a possibility that this could be at all right? And we're going to roll the video while we're speaking of it.
You know, for me to be able to do that, unfortunately, I can't. There is a training concept that if somebody is an aggressor and they're pointing a taser weapon at the officer is justified in elevating his application of force because he could be incapacitated by the taser weapon. Clearly, the video shows that that is not the case in this particular event. So once the taser weapon is out of play and the person begins to flee from the officer's application, the shooting of the individual is unreasonable. There is nothing that I can find in the video that would justify the application of deadly force in this event. You know, there's no special circumstances known that I'm aware of about the individual that posed a threat to the public if they were allowed to escape. More importantly, if we know who he is and it's a family-related court bench warrant for, you know, child support, there's nothing to substantiate any kind of real-time threat to the officer or the community that would justify the application of deadly force. There's just no reason for the shooting.
Let me ask you this. The officer said immediately he grabbed my taser. Some people have said he stole, he took. The words are he grabbed. I've listened to it several times. He grabbed my taser. But there are other reports, Dennis, that show potentially the tase had already happened. The cord from the tase, it's almost imperceivable in some of the video and some of the pictures. But there are reports that say witnesses and the officer himself said he tased the man already. Does that not therefore render that taser useless, not dangerous? Even if the man took the taser, it's been used. It can no longer present a threat, right?
Well, once the cartridge has been discharged, once he's fired the taser weapon, the probes can't be reset into the cartridge. So what you basically have, without replacing the cartridge, you have a stun gun. It's a pain compliance tool. It can no longer be utilized to incapacitate the officer. So that variable in and of itself and the physical evidence at the scene will verify where it was deployed at, because they have little aphids that come out whenever the weapon is utilized. And these are little identifiers specific for that cartridge. That will show on the ground where the weapon was actually used. So if the cartridge had been discharged, now the officer knows that even if he had possession of it, it's not going to be incapacitating to the officer. So it is not a deadly force threat.